Get Uncle Sam off your back. And the last thing you want is Uncle Sam on your back. So go to my web site, thedougstewartshow.com, and click on their banner link and get more details. Here's some chat from Lamont Hart, a.k.a. Trojan Lamont. He says, I'm not a hater of LeBron. I just don't like the way everyone tries to anoint him as the greatest ever. I agree with you on that. MJ is the king and Kobe is the prince. Both in their prime. I'm taking the Mamba all day and twice on Sunday. All I have to say is 81. And he's exactly right. I agree 100%. Michael Jordan's still number one as far as basketball players all time that I've seen. And a lot of questions have come about guys in the 60s, the George Mikens of the world, the Wilt Chamberlains of the world, the Bill Russells of the world. I didn't really see those guys. I can get a good understanding about those guys, but the guys that I've seen in my lifetime as far as basketball, number one is still Michael Jordan. Number two behind him for me is Magic Johnson. And Kobe's right there on the cusp. As far as all-around great players, that's a different conversation. I'd have Kobe at number two. As far as players I've seen in the last, 35 years of me watching basketball and being able to understand and comprehend what I'm watching on the floor. Yeah, Kobe's number two, okay? But if I had an option to pick a guy and we're pick a basketball at the height of their career, yeah, I'm taking Kobe Bryant. I'm taking Kobe Bryant at number two behind Michael Jackson, and then I'd probably take Magic Johnson. 404, I'll take Magic second, and I'd take Kobe third. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Who's your favorite athlete of all time? I told you earlier, my favorite of all time was the great O.J. Simpson, and we actually interviewed him in studio, and just an incredible thing when I interviewed that guy, when we had that guy in studio, because I grew up a Juice fan. Now, forget about all of the issues and what happened with them, with the trial and the murder trial of his wife and Ron Goldman. I'm talking sports, just sports. That was my guy growing up. That was my guy. Number 32, the Juice. And everybody that was great back in that time wore 32. He wore 32. The great Franco Harris wore 32. 32, 33, or 34. Earl Campbell wore 34. Tony Dorsett wore 33. So, and 34 also was worn by Walter Payton. So 34 and 32. If you wore 34 and 32 in Little League back in 77, yeah, before the team didn't even have to scout you. They knew that if you played running back and that the team designated you with either 34 or 32 or 33, even just for Dorsett, you were the man. Yes. And that's the number that I wore growing up in my first couple of years, is number 32, all in honor of O.J. Simpson, the big dummy. If Fred Sanford was here, he would say that. New York Knicks forward Carmelo Anthony believes he's the most underrated star player in the NBA. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, I had to absorb that for a second. I think I'm the most underrated superstar that's out there. He laughs, but then that doesn't matter to me, Anthony told ESPN's Chris Broussard. Well, evidently it does matter to you that you're underrated. He was responding to a question about the possibility that he's underrated because he hasn't yet won an NBA title. Quote, I know what I'm capable of doing. I know the grind and the hard work I put in to do this. I know how consistent I've been over my career to do it day in and day out and night out on a very consistent basis, year in and year out. I know what I can do, and I know the work I put in. Well, it does sound like you're concerned about it. And I think Carmelo's a great player. And that's the thing about it. I don't think people think that he's underrated, but it's almost like you get put in a different category if you're a great player without a ring. When you're talking about the greatest players of all time, usually those great players have multiple rings. So you do talk about the Magic Johnsons and the Larry Birds and the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants. So he can't really be in that category. It's almost like he's kind of sensitive to the fact that he doesn't get more credit. I think if you talk about the 10 best players in the NBA, I think Carmelo's probably in that conversation. Yeah, he probably is. He probably is. So, damn, what's going on with this phone? So, yeah, I think Carmelo's probably in the 10 in the conversation with the 10 greatest athletes or players in basketball. I think so. I think that's That's doable. But he can't be in the category with Kobe and LeBron, because LeBron even has a couple of rings. Kobe has 5. So I think he's in like the next tier below that. But what the hell does he expect? You can't be mentioned in the same conversation with all your futility in the playoffs. Since you've been a pro, we can't put you in the same conversation with a dude that scored 81 in the game, and 5 rings, and another dude that's probably one of the greatest specimens to ever lace him up and has a couple of rings on his own, and was heralded coming out of high school as the next thing, as the golden child. You can't put him in that category. So I don't know what Carmelo's beef is, and I know guys and athletes have chips on their shoulder. And I understand that, and I get that, but I think he's a little bit off base on the question. The actual right answer to that question is, do you think you're underrated? No, I don't think I'm underrated. I get a lot of talk. I get a lot of press. I just think that I need to get into the next level, Chris Broussard, is I need to win a ring. And I'm doing everything I can to do that. And I think if he has that response, okay, I think that people would appreciate it a lot more. Yeah, I think people appreciate Carmelo's game. He's one of the greatest scorers ever. I mean, Carmelo kind of reminds me of who does he remind me of? He reminds me of like an Alex English type guy, Mark Aguirre, a guy that can score. You can just score the basketball. Now, the other facets of his game have a lot to be desired. He doesn't play the greatest defense in the world, and that's well chronicled. He isn't the most athletic, I would say. You can't put Carmelo up against LeBron James as far as athleticism. I mean, it's not even close. But he's a fantastic scorer, kind of like a Bernard King, where you just give him the basketball, and he's going to find a way to get it in the bucket. That's the type of player that Carmelo reminds me of. And so, yeah, I think he gets respect. I think he just needs to chill out with that. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me, Doug at thedougstewartshow.com. And this segment is brought to you by Join 7. Join 7 is a protection group, and they protect against life's mishaps. Yes, that's what they do at Join 7. So go online at thedougstewartshow.com and check out Join 7. 404-382-0338, the most interactive show online, the most interactive show on radio, even though we're not on radio. You know what the hell I mean. Here's a chat message from That Ninja. He says, Melo is top 5. Rings are a team accomplishment. I tend to agree with that. Plus, the refs openly cheat. Robert Horry is not better than Charles Barkley. You're wrong, Doug. And I guess what the point he's making is Robert Horry has many rings. Charles Barkley has none. So you can't say Robert Horry is a better player than Charles Barkley. I agree 100% with that. My point is when you're talking about it cumulatively, and you're talking about guys that are mentioned in as far as all-time greats, Charles Barkley wouldn't be in that conversation. Charles Barkley is a fantastic player. He's a Hall of Fame type player. But I think there's different levels to this thing. Level 1 is Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Then level 2 comes a bunch of guys like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, that type of player. Like, I even think you can throw Isaiah Thomas in that level 1 group, okay? A guy that's won multiple rings is that level 1 group. Yeah, I mean, only an idiot would say Robert Horry is a better player than Charles Barkley because he has more rings. You know what the point I'm trying to make, That Ninja? You know what I mean. Vernon says, Doug, how can you and all these young listeners forget about Jackie Robinson, number 1, and Jim Brown, number 2 in all sports? Jim never had a line that wanted to block for him. Matter of fact, he was bigger than his damn offensive line. Jackie came out of college as a three-sport letterman. Once again, if you're just joining me, Vern, from Jersey, appreciate the chat. I said that I never, there's a lot of athletes that played in the 60s and that are regarded as some of the greatest players of all times that I can't really comment on. Now, if you've seen athletes from that era till now and you still say Jim Brown, and a lot of people, and I think I made a list at one time where I did have Jim Brown as my number 1 running back of all time. You know why? Because the admiration and the respect that people that have seen football during that era all the way till now, they'll still put Jim Brown over Walter Payton or Bo Jackson or Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders. They'll still say Jim Brown in this day and time can do the same things that he did in the 60s. So that's much respect. So Jim Brown is that dude, and that's your favorite athlete of all time, Vernon. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we grab more of your calls. And we're also going to talk a little bit about what happened last night in baseball. The Pirates take just a savage beatdown, and I kind of hate it. And I'll tell you a little bit more about my thoughts on baseball and these abrupt endings for teams after they play 162 games, and it's just over like that? Yes, I don't know about this wild card thing. Seems very anticlimactic if you're a Pittsburgh Pirate fan. All right, don't go anywhere. It's the Doug Stewart Show. This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for details. Welcome to Atlanta, my SC State Bulldog family. Once again, your boy Stu is throwing the biggest party of the year, October 3rd, 2014, in honor of the classic game being played in Atlanta that Saturday. It's only for the grown and sexy, though. The party will be held in the Georgia Ballroom in the Crown Plaza Hotel, located at 590 West Peachtree Street, Northwest ATL, starting at 10 p.m. Atlanta's own DJ Cowboy playing all the old school hits. You know how he do. It's going to be crazy. Last year at Asia, 4 years ago at Shout, this year at the Crown Plaza, bananas. Advance tickets are $20 for a limited time, so get yours at theclassicparty.eventbrite.com. Last year, over 1,000 people kicked it hard at ATL with your boy. And to quote the great Sidney Poitier, let's do it again. See you in Atlanta. Sports talk with hot sauce. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. Thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate it. Man, this Spreaker chat is on fire. Yeah, it's a good way to stay interactive with the show is go to Spreaker.com, the Doug Stewart Show, and, follow me first of all. That's a big thing. And you need to tell at least 2 people to follow me as well on Spreaker.com. And also, jump on the chat after you follow me. Jump on the chat. We can chat it up about whatever I'm talking about in the show. So we're all the way interactive. All the way. There's some chat from Fred. It says, I hate the new trend of players moving, teaming up. Sup with that? Damn, that teaming up-ish. And anyway, I 100% agree. My stance on that hadn't changed. Thought it was dead-ass wrong the way LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh went and teamed up. That was lame as hell. So my feelings on that will never change. But my feelings on LeBron James and giving him the due and, kind of wishing for his success has kind of changed since he's decided to go back to Cleveland and the essay and all of that type of stuff. This is the Doug Stewart Show, 404-382-8255. 0338 is the number to the show.